What's up, everybody? It's the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and I'm back with another monitor-related video. Yes, so this is gonna be brief, and if this video is brief, that means it's not very good. So yes, I decided to buy a monitor yesterday for the luxurious Xbox Series X and S. You know how much I've talked about these consoles and how great they are. 120 frames, the most compatible console ever with multiple monitors, unless you get a manufacturer that makes a shitty monitor. So, right, what you see here is an Asus ROG Swift PG27U, 27 inches, top of the line monitor for standard PC, like weirdo, like one of the PC gamers that play games on PC and stuff like that. Me, you guys know, I like to game on monitor via console, especially Xbox. The Xbox has the most compatible console freaking ever. So when the Series X and the PS5 came out, I sort of I migrated my consoles from monitor to TV, because this LG CX, obviously the best TV for the consoles, takes advantage of everything that has the Xbox Series X has to offer. The monitors, not quite. Now, I was about ready to, what's the word I'm looking for? I was ready to compromise. You know what? I know the Xbox can do 4K at 120, but a lot of games, they gotta drop the resolution down to 1440p. In some cases, 1080p. So, it's cool to have it, obviously, on like the CX, but I was like, if I can get a monitor that does 1440p at 120 frames, you know what? Maybe. And so here comes the ROG Swift from Asus. It offers everything you can ask for. 144 hertz. Of course, it requires you to overclock it for that, but it's natively a 120 hertz monitor. NVIDIA G-Sync HDR, 1,000 nits for HDR. So top of the line HDR for a monitor, like every other monitor, you're gonna get like 400 and 600. It's quite the HDR you're looking for. This one is good enough, like comparable to like TV's HDRs for for this monitor. It also obviously does 4K. It has quantum dot technology. It's an IPS monitor. It has let me see. I think I was looking. Yeah, just all this stuff. It's just everything. Right? So the first thing I do, I say, we're gonna plug this Xbox up to this new luxurious monitor, and we're going to set this bad boy to 140p, 120 frames, because I know there's not really monitors that supports HDMI 2.1. We're still waiting for, I think, sometime this year or even next year, but at least Xbox Series X can still get you 120 hertz over HDMI 2.0. It just won't be at 4K. It will have to be limited to 1440p. So I learned the hard way that the Xbox, not the Xbox, but the Asus ROG Swift PG27U only offers 120 frames over DisplayPort, not via HDMI, which fucking sucks, which narrowly handicaps the Xbox. To the point where 1440p is not even an option on my Xbox. Usually if I plug this bad boy up to my TV, 1440p is an option, 1080p is an option, and I can just switch. I don't have the option below resolution to change my refresh rate. I'm thoroughly annoyed. And you know me, I'm looking online. They're talking about shit like, oh, you got to get this like HDMI to DisplayPort adapter. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That shit's not gonna work. So I found a workaround, a literal cheat that the Xbox has pretty much sort of forces it. So right now we see 4K, 1080p, 720p, but we're stuck at 60 hertz pretty much. 60 hertz is the only option. 60 hertz is the only option. It says your TV supports 4K at 60 hertz. That's my only option. And of course it supports HDR10 because this has proper HDR in this monitor. So how we're going to cheat the system, how we're going to get this beast ass monitor, top of the line PC monitor, to allow the Xbox Series X to take advantage of it? Well, we're going to do a cheat called video fidelity and overscan. We're going to do that. And then we're going to change the overrides from auto detect to HDMI. And what that's going to do is going to give me some shitty ass resolution, right? It's going to give me some shitty ass resolution. Come on, hurry up. You see how it's all blurry? It's running at like 640p right now, or 480p. So you see that? We're good. Now we get to change the refresh rate. I get 120 hertz, and it's going to allow me to keep the new resolution. And the new resolution is going to be 1080p, and that's how I can get 120 hertz on the game. And it does work. I'm able to switch between performance mode and Gears and other games that support it. I play Halo at this mode, but the problem is now I am limited to 1080p. It gives me the option to go up to a maximum 1440p, but what happens is once I hit 1440p, it's going to kick in the DisplayPort mode, which would go to my PC, because obviously the Xbox doesn't support. It's not a DisplayPort. It's an HDMI, because this monitor does not support 1440p at 120 hertz over HDMI 2.0, which is a problem. So if you're looking for a gaming monitor to take full advantage of your Xbox Series X, do not get the Asus ROG Swift. Not saying actually, let me say this. It's a wonderful monitor if you are a PC gamer, and it's a wonderful monitor if you don't want to try your Xbox at 120 hertz. It'll do everything else. Best HDR for a monitor. You're gonna get your 60 hertz. You're going to get your 4K, and it supports all this, the FreeSync, G-Sync, all that jazz that this monitor comes with. So it's not a bad monitor. But if you are looking to take advantage, because right now, just to give you, some people like, Smooth, why are you so bothered? There's not many games on Xbox at 120 frames. Who told you that lie? Right now, the Xbox Series X is the leading platform other than PC with 120 frames per second option games with over 30, and the Xbox Series S is next with over 25 at the time of this recording, and PlayStation 5 with 11. Now, yeah, this monitor would be perfect for a PlayStation 5, being that, there's not many 120 frames per second games there, but for those who are interested, I've been holding off on a monitor. Now, I decided I'm probably going to keep the monitor because there are a lot of the games, albeit that are running 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X, is usually between 1080p to 1440p. The majority, I think, is 1080, and then you got some options that are 1440. So I can take advantage of it. However, I had to do this little trick to get it. I was just a little bit upset that it naturally didn't support the resolution and frame rate as it should, because if you get a natural display that supports HDMI 2.0 display that can support 120 frames, 120 frames at 1440p resolution, you can get that on your Series X, no problem. This is a $2,000 monitor, so it should be able to do that. And that's the problem I have with it. Otherwise, it's a perfectly fine monitor. I have no beef with it, but I was hoping to be able to play, games at the higher resolution at 120 frames per second, so I can, do crossplay with the people that are playing Gears and Halo and stuff like that. I can still do it at 1080p, but man, I've been playing on the Xbox for so long, I'm above 1080p. 1440p or better. But that is the video. I hope you enjoy. If you're interested in the monitors, this thing, like I said, it's not quite consumer friendly price yet, but it is an option for next gen consoles. Look for something that can do 1440p 120 hertz over HDMI for Xbox. 1080p for PS5, you'll be fine if you're playing on a PS5, but for my Xbox users, like I said, I like my monitors. I'm probably going to be going back and forth between my TV and this monitor. I do like the monitor. I do like it. I'm probably going to be going back and forth until I get a second Series X, and then I'll have a Series X on a TV that fully takes advantage of the Xbox, and then on a monitor when I just want to stream and shit like that. But that's it. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoy. And you guys know the deal. Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I'm out of here. Peace.